Is Rahim Zulfikar Ali. So let's get started with 15 tips regarding how to make better dashboards in Microsoft Power BI. So the first tip related to how to define the chronological sorting in Microsoft Power BI. So let's have a demonstration of two good examples. So the first one is you might have observed that when you have the names of the months on the report, you will find that it's not sorted like Jan to December or December to Jan. It's just showing you like April, August, December, Feb. Now, as we know that our calendar is not basically an alphabetical order, it's basically on a chronological order, right? So let me first increase the font size. All right, so now you can observe that if I sort this particular visual into ascending or descending, it will not fulfilling the purpose because it's being not sorted like a calendar. So how to set this kind of chronological order in Microsoft Power BI? So there might be multiple ways to solve this kind of issue. I will tell you two different ways to solve it. Now, if you can see in my data, you can observe there are some columns like name of the month, and there is one more helper column, which is the month number. So what we will be gonna do is that the month number is basically assigned on a backend of this month name. For example, if any of the viewer asks that if we don't have a month number column in our Power BI, so it can be easily created with the help of a date column. So for example, in a data set where you have a date column, what you can do is you can just go to the home tab and click on transform data, where you will be redirected to the Power Query editor. From there you can just make a duplicate column of a date and transform that into to get the month number. So I'm showing you just a demo here. For example, if I have a date column, and what I will do is I will just select this in Power Query, right click in this contextual menu, click on duplicate column, right? Just double click on the header so that you can rename the header for your own understanding. For example, I have assigned the name title is month number, right? Now what I want is I want to transform all these dates to just get the number of the month. So I will just right click again this contextual menu. You have option that is called transform. Again, from the subsection you have the month, and then you have the field that is called month. Okay, so as soon as I click on it, so you will get the month number from each of the date, right? So that's how you can create the helper column, and once you created that, just click on close and apply. So for this particular example, I'm not going to click on close and apply because I already have that month number in my data set. All right, so now there is one technique is that we will just select that month name column, and we will assign these month number column on a backend so that our chronological order could be set here, right? So as I told you, if this is not available, so you need to find the date column, and then you need to have one more column which is month number, and then you need to execute the last step. But for example, if someone asks that if I don't have this month number column, and also I don't have the date column as well in the data set, I just have the month name column in my fact table. Okay, so what you can do is, if you have a concept of a relationship and you know that how to create a relationship between a fact table and a dimension table, so from that kind of particular technique you can sort into a chronological order as well. So what I'm gonna do is I will add one dimension table from my Excel workbook. For doing that, I will go to get data Excel workbook, and I will just define the path of that file. Alright, so I know that in my Excel workbook I have one table which has just two columns. The first one is month and the next one is serial. So you can see that this particular table is called the dimension table, and you know that a relationship can be created between a fact table and dimension table if we talk about the star schema. So I will just load this table into my Power BI, and after that, if I go to the data model, which is model small icon on the left side, and now what I want to do is, one is the fact table, this is the dimension table, and I need to find a common column which is a month name. So I will just drag that month name to this months column in the months table, and by default one to many relationship has been created. Then I will go to this data view and I will click on my months table. Now what I need to do is I will just select this month's name and I will go to the column tools tab, and here you will find a feature that is called sort by column. So I will just click on that and I will click on serial. So what it's gonna do is basically each of the month has been assigned with a number on a backend. So if I just drag, for example, if I just drag particular this month field from the months table, so now you can see that this particular list of the months is being sorted as, because we have created a relationship. Why we have created a relationship? Because later on definitely we want sales to be shown with the months, or cost of goods sold should be showed with the months. So definitely if the order will be correct, so the numbers will be falling into the correct order, right? So I can just drag the sales number with this field as well. Now for example, if I just delete the relationship, right, and I will go back to my reporting area, so that you can see that the list of the names of the months is being correctly in order, but the numbers are not corrected. So it's very important that you need to create a relationship, a proper correct relationship as well, in order to get the correct numbers and also to sort in a correct chronological order, right? Now if you see the list, let me just increase the value size first so that you can compare. Now this is being correctly sorted, right? Jan till December. You can further sort it by for example months, December to Jan as well, right? Now for this particular table, which is the visual, we know that this particular month name in the financials table is not being properly sorted. So for that, what I will do is, again I will go to financials, and here I have the month name column. So I will just select the month name and I will click on sort by column, and then I will click on month number. So now this month number will definitely help this month name column on the back end, because every month name has been assigned with a particular number, and now I can see that this list is also being correctly sorted. So I have told you two ways to correct chronological orders for the names of the month. If you have additional columns like month number already available in the data set, so you can just click on sort by column and then month number. And if you don't have this month number, you can create by duplicating the date column in the Power Query. And if you don't have the date and month number column, so you can import one dimension table, create a relationship, and then apply the technique of chronological sorting as well, right? And further in future, if you want to just make sure that you want to create a visual out of that as well, you can create that as well, right? So this is now in proper chronological order. All right, so there is one more example. This was the example how to correct the names of the month in Microsoft Power BI by two different techniques. Let's say we will take another example here. There is a field that is called discount band, and there are 4 different types. So let me just increase the size first. So you can see that first it's high, then low, medium, and none. What we need is, we need our own particular sorting, which is chronological sorting again. So we need high at the top, then we don't need low, we need the medium at the second place, then we need low, and then none, right? And the vice versa. So now this is being not sorted in such a way that we can see through our own sequence. So either we need a column for that as well. For example, next to the discount band we need a number column, so that it could be assigned by sort by column technique. Now that's not possible. So what we're gonna do is, we will have a dimension table from one of a file, or also you can create a new table in the Power BI by writing a DAX to that, but we already have that discount band dimension table available. So I will just load this small table which consists of 2 columns, discount band and then serial number. So the discount band contains 4 categories: none, low, medium, and high. So I will just click on load. So I will just click on load and it's detecting the relationships if available. So let me get into the model part, and now you can see that automatically a relationship of one to many has been created between financials table, which is the fact table, and a dimension table of discount band 1, and the relationship of common column is the discount band, which is already being, you can see that it's connected. There is one more additional relationship which is of no use, so we will just delete that relationship, or it's automatically being disabled. How we recognize that? Because it's a dotted line. So every relationship with a dotted line is basically temporarily disabled, so you can just delete that, or it's being there, so that's no use of that, right? So I will just again go to my data view, and now I will click on discount band 1 table. So I will just select the discount band column, and again the same technique, sort by column based on serial. And now when I go back to my reporting area, so here you can see the sorting none. Okay, so here is the sorting which is coming, that none, medium, low or high. Why? Because this discount band field is from the financials table, so we don't need to pick that field from here. Now we will just open the discount band 1 table, and we will pick this discount band from here. Now you can see that the sorting has been correctly defined in a chronological way. So none, low, medium, high, and if we want to see the cost of goods sold, or particularly we need to see the discounts, basically how much discount has been given in each of the categories. So none definitely is 0. Total of $9.2 million discount has been given, right? So this is how you can change your chronological order with the help of helper columns, or sometimes you have to make the relationship between fact and dimension table, right? How to align the objects on Power BI report canvas? So it's very easy. Just click on the first object, hold control key, left mouse key. So we have selected these 3 objects we need to properly align. So I will go to the format tab, and here in the format tab you can see the align feature available. So this is similar if you have used align between the objects in Excel, Word or PowerPoint. So we have a couple of options available here. You can align left, center, right, top, middle, bottom, and you can distribute the space horizontally, vertically. So first we will say that align in the middle, then align distribute horizontally, right? So this is the quickest way to align the objects in the report canvas very quickly. Otherwise you can do it manually, and sometimes these red lines shows you the direction that if you are doing it appropriately or not. Okay, another way is that we want to align these 2 objects. So I have selected these 2 objects. I will go to format tab, and again align center, and then align middle, or any other alignment you want, right? So this is the quickest way to align the objects in Power BI. Next is the tooltip. So for example, if we have one visual available which represent the sales for each of the segments. So we have 5 segments: government, small business, enterprise, mid-market and channel partners. And if you can see that when I hover my cursor on any of that blue bar, you can see a small black box which shows you the number of sales and the segment name. So this is basically called a tooltip. Now what if you need to customize this particular black box, or a tooltip you can say, so you can create your own tooltip and assign this to this visual. So for doing that, there are some few steps and very easy. First you need to insert a new page, rename this page accordingly, and the name you want. So I will give a name that is months tool tip. Okay, so now this page has been renamed, and the first step is click on this format your report, expand the page information, and here you will find allow use as tooltip. By default is being off, so you need to click on this off button so that it should be enabled and on. Then next is to expand the canvas settings. By default it's 16 by 9, right? So you need to open this drop down menu and select the tooltip. After that you will find a border or a box on this particular page. This is the particular area for your tooltip. You can add as many visuals in this particular box, which will be assigned to this segment wise visual. Okay, so I will come back to this tooltip area, and let's say we want month wise chart. So I will just drag the months here, and then I want to put the sales number here. I want to convert this visual into a clustered column chart, right? Now next step is I will again go to that original visual, that is segment which represents sales, and I need to just replace that particular tooltip which I created by this black box. So for doing that, you need to just click on this visual so that it should be enabled, and then in the visualizations pane, click on format your visual. Then you will find a journal option here, and in the journal you can see tooltip. So just expand that, and in the page field, instead of auto, just select that particular page where you have created the tooltip. And now when you come back to your visual and hover your cursor, so you can see that tooltip is being dynamically changed and adjusting itself according to that particular segment of sales, and it's showing us the distribution of this 53 million of sales in the government segment by month wise, right? So this is very dynamic. You have a visual on your report which shows you sales by month, and you want some more information out of that visual, so you want to analyze it further. So we have a feature in Microsoft Power BI that is for the analyze. So for example, if you can see that in June there is a sales of $9.5 million, and in July there is a fall in the sales as compared to the previous month, and in July sales of 8.1 million. So we need to further analyze that what has happened regarding this 8.1 million sales in the month of July with different aspects. So just right click on this blue bar of for the month of July, and in this contextual menu you will be finding the analyze option here, and it shows you two options: explain the decrease or find where the distribution is different. Now explain the decrease will enable different kind of charts based on the reason that what has happened in the July as compared to June, right? And find where the distribution is different gives you the distribution of this particular sales of the current month with different variables. So let's explore the explain the decrease. So when I click on it, it will take few seconds and it will generate very fast results based on. So now it shows me that here the analysis of 14.88% decrease in sales between June and July. So very quickly I can see that 14% of the sales has been dropped in the month of July, and there is a waterfall chart which shows the volume of June 9.5 million and July 8.1. So there are three products in which we have a negative, and there is one product which we have a positive, right? And there is a reason as well. So reason has been also mentioned. When you scroll down, you will find different waterfall charts based on different dimensions in your data set, right? So this is how within very few seconds Power BI has a functionality of analyze that particular reasoning for you. And if you want to add this particular visual, so you can see on top right side there is a plus sign which says add this visual to the page. So when I click on this visual will be added to the page, right? And you can resize that as well as per your requirement. So this is a very good feature. If you are creating your dashboards, you can do further reasoning with what is happening in that particular month. Okay. If you see the October, when you right click on October, you will find the increase because October as compared to the previous month September has been increased. Okay. Next feature is about the summary, smart narratives in Power BI. So for example, if you want to create a quick summary of this particular visual, so just right click and here you will find the summarize option, which is the smart narrative feature. Click on that and within few seconds it will generate a summary for you. Wow, super. Let me just drag this here. And it says that At 21.6 million, October has the highest sales and was 287.9% higher than March. And the March has the lowest sales of 5.5 million. October accounted for 18.25% of sales, which is 18% is basically the entire of this particular 12 months volume. And across all 12 months, sales has been from 5.5 million to 21 million. So we can see that the average is like more than 5 million in each of the month, whereas the highest is 21.7, right? And when you click on any of the month, for example, if you select 3-4 months, or if you change any kind of visual in your report, the summary automatically gets updated. So this is the dynamic summary of that particular visual. And now imagine that if you assign this task to a human, definitely he will or she will take time to write these kind of sentences, and that sentences would be static rather than dynamic. Even what you can do is, if you can see, there is a blue underline. So these are basically the dynamic numbers, and when you click on that, you can also assign DAX to it. You can also do some formatting as well. Drill through, another awesome feature of Microsoft Power BI, where you can drill to get the further information about that particular segment or bar in the chart. So for example, if we have a chart of again segment wise by sales, and we want to drill through further information that the 53 million of sales in the government portion relates to how much profit or how much cost of goods sold, and we want to see further information in a separate page. So we can do this with the help of drill through feature in Power BI. So there are simple steps to create drill through. First, you need to insert a new page in Power BI and add many visuals or KPIs or numbers on that particular page you want to see the detailed information about that particular number. So I have put the numbers for sales, cost of goods sold, profit. These are the cards in the visualizations, as you can see that, and another visual which shows profit month wise from Jan to December and sales by segment. So what will happen is that if I want to further drill down 53 million to that particular page, it will automatically adjust itself and shows me the further information where I can take the further decisions for my business. Now, how to enable the drill through feature in this particular chart and automatically make connected with this particular page. So let's get started. The first thing is that you need to observe that this particular chart main variable is the segment, right? And on the drill through page which you have created, what you need to do is you need to just drag the segment in the drill through area, which is in the visualizations pane, and there is a field here for the drill through. So you just need to drag the segment, drag and drop. As soon as you drag and drop, you will find a back button on top left side of this page. If you want to navigate to that original page, you need to just hold the control key and left mouse key, so you will get to the original visual. Now for example, I want to get the further information. I want to drill through the information of this 53 million, so I will just right click, and now from this contextual menu you can see there is a feature that is called drill through has been added. I will just click on this page, and automatically this has been filtered to the 53 million. So sales is 52.5, which is 53 million. Against that we have cost of goods sold, profit, profit month wise, right? So this is very dynamic. Again, I will come back to this visual if I want to see this 42 million breakup further with some different visualizations and numbers. So I will right click, go to the drill through feature, and that's it. It has been drilled through according to that particular segment, which is for the small business of 42 million, right? The entire page has been filtered accordingly. So this is awesome feature. The next is you can also add forecasting if you are creating some line charts based on time period in your dashboard. So as you can see that this particular line chart has been made from a field that is called date. And what happens in Power BI is that the date column has been automatically converted sometimes into a data hierarchy, where you will find some different dimensions like a year, quarter, month or day. So you don't want them. So very first time when you drag the date, these dimensions, these date hierarchy will be selected, right? So what you need to do is in the axis, if you can see this, in the axis you have a field that is called date, right? So there is a small arrow. Instead of date hierarchy, make sure you have checked the date, okay? So that the forecasting will be made correctly. So that's the point, right? Now there is a sales in this line chart which starts from September 2020 till November 21, and we need to forecast, for example, for the next 2 years, 5 years, or for the next 6 months, right? So how are we gonna do that? So you have to click on this visual, and in the visualizations pane you can see a magnifier, a small magnifier icon. This icon represent to add some further analysis to your visual. So when you click on that, you can find the forecast option at the bottom, and it's being off by default. So you need to just get on and expand that, and here you can add change some of the fields like how your units has been created. You want to see forecast by years, by quarters, by months, by days, right? So for example, if we need to see next 6 months, so I will select months here. Forecast length will be 6, and then you need to define seasonality if there is. Confidence interval according to your business, there is 99%, 95%, and I will click on apply. So for the next 6 months we have added the forecast, right? Alright, so the next is conditional formatting in Microsoft Power BI. If you are creating dashboards, conditional formatting will be very handy for you. It's very easy to apply. You just need to click on the visual, and then you have to go to format your visual. Here you will find the data labels. Here you will find the bars. Just click on that to expand the bar options, and you will find a small button that is called FX. Just click on that. It will open the conditional formatting area. Now there are different kind of styles in the conditional formatting. You can just define the rules if you want according to the field value or the gradient color. So for this, in this video we are just using the gradient color. Then you have to select the field. So for example, in the financials, I want to select the field which is profit, and defining the color for the minimum value and for the maximum value, and when you press OK, your visuals get changed, right, based on the profit. You can also change the variable as well. Instead of profit, you can select the sales as well. So I will just go to the bars, undo that feature, click on FX, and this time, let's say in the financials table, I will select sales and press OK, right? So basically this bar chart is based on the profit numbers, but you have made a conditional formatting based on the sales number as well, so you can visualize that particular month-wise progress. Okay, so this is also an awesome feature in Microsoft Power BI. The next thing is that sometimes you want to add a background into your Power BI report. So if you go to the format your report page, and when you expand the canvas settings, so by default the ratio is being distributing with 16:9, and if you open your PowerPoint, so the slide size of the wide screen is also 16:9. So whatever you can create here, you can save this slide as a PNG image. So you can click on file. So you have to click on File tab, Save As, choose a location, and then in the Save As type, select the PNG, right? And after that, when you made the slide as a PNG, which is slide size of 16:9, which is exactly same, if you can see in the canvas settings, what you can do is you need to insert that particular image here as a background. So in the canvas background, you can see the image option field available here. Click on browse, locate that image, and after locating that image, just decrease the percentage of transparency so that it should be visible, right? So this is how you can customize some good background designs in the PowerPoint, save as PNG, and import that image in the canvas background as an image and use it as a background in your Power BI dashboard reports. How to manage your measures in Power BI. So let's learn that. So for example, in the financials table, you can see that I have created two explicit measures, that is gross revenue and the second one is revenue after discount, and I want to shift all my measures to a new table where I can manage all my measures separately. So for doing that, very easy steps: click on modeling and then click on new table and just press the enter key in the formula bar. And on the right side, if you can see that the new table has been created at the bottom, right? So let's rename that table. Just right click on that and click on rename, and I will give a name like measures all, enter. Now as you can see that this particular table, I need to shift that table on top so that I can easily have an eye on my all the measures into one just table as grouped. So let's first transfer all the measures here. My explicit measures are in, let's suppose, different tables. So for example, currently there are two measures in the financial table and I want to shift them into the measures all table, right? So for doing that, there is very easy step. Click on model and then click on financials table, right click from this contextual menu, click on select measures, so it will automatically select the measures, explicit measures which you have created. And in this properties pane, you have the home table. So I want to change the home table of my current explicit measures from financials to measures all. Okay, so I will click on measures all. So that now has been shifted in the measures all table. So you can see here gross revenue and revenue after discount, right? Now how I gonna make this particular measures all table to the top? So very easy, just open this table and there is one column, right? Just right click to that column and click on hide from this contextual menu. And as soon as you do this step, you have now one separate table which defines all your measures, right? Sometimes when you have more than like 15, 20, 25 measures, so you need to manage them as a separately. So we can also create folders within this particular table as well. So how we're going to do that? Again, we will go to the model, right? And in the measures all, right click, select measures. So two measures have been selected. And in the properties pane, you can see a field which is called display folder. So I will give a nice name which is revenue and just press enter key. So these two measures now being put into a separate folder which is the revenue. Okay, so now you can see here on the right side in the fields pane, there is a folder that is called revenue. You can further expand to see your explicit measures. Once you have more than other kind of explicit measures, you can create multiple folders within this particular table, right? So this is how you can manage it very nicely. Next is how you can lock a particular object so that it should not be moved. Sometimes what we do is we just created a visual and we just placed to the proper place of our dashboard reporting area, and we don't want intentionally or unintentionally to be moved this object, right? So for the safer side, what you can do is you can just lock this object. So for how to lock the object, just click on that object and go to view tab and click on lock object. Just check mark that. Now you cannot move this particular object unless you will again uncheck this particular field and you can again move this object. So sometimes locking the objects is useful when you have a lot of objects on your dashboard and you are aligning those objects where you want some certain subjects to be locked. In Power BI is we can save this entire reports or the dashboard as a PDF. So for saving a file as a PDF is click on File tab and go to the export, and here you will find export as PDF. So of all the pages available in this particular file, and in next few seconds it will create a report. File which has been generated, and it is saved on a particular location. Alright, so decomposition tree in Power BI lets you to visualize data across multiple dimensions. It automatically aggregates data and enables you to drilling down into your dimensions in any order. So it's one of the very best feature about Power BI, very good visualization, and it's also an artificial intelligence visualization, so you can ask it to find the next dimension to drill down into based on criteria selections. So this makes, just resize that. Okay, now what you need to do is you need to uh, analyze, for example, sales. So I will just drag the sales into the analyze field, and then how you want to analyze this. So let's say we want to analyze first by segment wise, so I will just drag the segment and explain by, right? After segment, then we need to analyze product wise, then we need to analyze month wise. So you can add around 50 fields in the explain by category. Okay, so as soon as you add these fields, you can see there is a small plus sign. So I will just click on that, and you have a choice that you want to expand the sales number into segment wise, product wise, or month wise. So as per your choice. So I will first expand this to segment wise. So it will give me a breakup of 118 million. Okay, so the highest is in government, then enterprise. Let's see, let's explore small businesses further, which has 42.4 million of sales. So I will again click on this plus sign, and I want to expand this as a product wise. So this 42.4 million being split into the product wise, and I want to explore the first product into a months, right? So there are 4 months in which this first product has been sold in March, June, October, and December, and I can further drill down that what has been happened in October because sales are very low here, right? So this is the decomposition tree available in Microsoft Power BI. The key influencers. So this visual is available in the again visualizations pane and key influencers. Just resize that visual, and let's say we want to analyze the sales and explain by segment. So now it's running the analysis, and it gives us that what influences sales to increase. So from this drop down menu we can also select the decrease as well. So it will tells us that what are those two segments in which the sales has been decreased, what are those reasons, right? So you can see this, and you can also go to the top segments as well, right? So if you are creating your dashboard, Power BI dashboard, key influencers visualization will be an important aspect.